Okay, so we're going to be going through today the website publicrecords.onlinesearches.com. And the reason we're going to go through it is if we are looking for finding the departments within the counties that deal with tax sales and also with foreclosures, as that is our method of investing that we're going to be looking at this time. So when we first type it in, and again, whenever we type in an address, I always recommend that you type in up in the address bar up here rather than do a search for it. Okay, so just type it in up here once you're done typing it in, publicrecords.onlinesearches.com. Hit enter. It should take you right to the website. Now there's a lot of information that's available from this website, but we're going to go through a fairly specific path to be able to get there. So you can go over and you can see the various states here where you can click, and you can see they even have Puerto Rico, so U.S. territories, Virgin Islands, things like that. Okay, but what we're going to do is go over on the right hand side over here where we're going to go in under search public records by type of record. Okay, so as far as if you're looking for different types of investing, and we're going to focus on default tax investing today. So when we look at this, there are certain departments that we're definitely going to want to pay attention to, okay? Assessor and property tax records, that will be great once we have the list and once we're researching the properties on the list, okay? Well, for right now, we don't have a list yet. So that's not going to be our first list that we click on, our first link that we click on, I apologize. So we're going to go down to foreclosures and tax lien sales. Now, what we've just told the website is that when we click on the state, the only thing we want to see within the state, and that's going to break it down by county, are resources that are related to foreclosures or tax lien sales. That's it. Okay? So let's give it a shot. All right? So one of the states that has made some changes in the last few years, and it has been Pennsylvania, and it is what is considered a hybrid state where you have parts of the state that offer tax lien certificates and parts of the state that offer tax deeds. Now within Pennsylvania there are 4 types of sales. You have the upset sale, you have the private sale, you have the judicial, and you have the repository. As far as investors are concerned, we prefer to get our properties free of any liens and encumbrances. Okay, that will be accomplished by going through either the judicial or the repository sale. Now, the sales I'm going to show you coming up in one of the counties here in Pennsylvania are in the judicial class. So they are being sold to you free of liens and encumbrances. Now, one thing that I had done in the past that had made this more difficult than it needed to be. If you go to this drop down and you decide to say, oh great, I'm going to go ahead and click here and I'm going to use this, what that will do is that will show you all of the links in the county versus just the foreclosure and tax sale related links. Okay, so we're not going to click on that for right now. We're going to go over and we're going to scroll down and we're going to go down to Philadelphia County. All right. Now, Philadelphia County, yes, the city of Philadelphia is in Philadelphia County. Okay. So as we scroll down here, there we go, Philadelphia County, and notice there's only 3 links. So mortgage foreclosure sales and sheriff's tax sales, mortgage foreclosure prevention, and then sheriff sales. Well, let's click on this first one here. Mortgage foreclosure sales and sheriff tax sales. Great. Now it's going to come in and you're going to have these frames in here, okay, showing that, hey, you got here from, online sources from the Free Public Records Directory. Great, we don't mind that. So you have Sheriff Jewel Williams there. Great. Now we're not interested in the mortgage foreclosure sales right now. What we're interested in is the tax delinquent sales. So we're going to click here on the October 15th tax delinquent sale. It tells us that to be there, you're at First District Plaza at 3801 Market Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19104 USA. Okay, great. Click on here. All right. Now, click here to view a list of properties being sold at this sale. Okay, we'll click on it. That's fine. Now what it's going to do is it's going to show us a list. Now it will default when it brings up this list to showing you the mortgage foreclosures, which is not what we're interested in. We're interested in looking at the tax delinquent sales. So we select tax delinquent. It gives us the date, Wednesday, October 15th. And now it's going to show us the properties. Now, in most cases, you would say, oh, well, they may have 5 or 10 properties. Not so in this case. Plenty of properties. Notice they have an address. You can type that right in, do a search through Google Earth, Zillow, Trulia, to where you can go ahead and pull up the property and see what it is. Now, this sale is handled for the county by James Wallach Esquire. Okay, so that law firm. All right. Notice Wednesday, October 15th. If we go down to tax collection-GRB, Tuesday, October 21st, GRB Law. Separate law firm handling tax deed sales in Philadelphia County once a month. And tax collection-Linebarger. Again, different date. Another law firm, and this law firm actually helps handle, they're one of the big 3 that actually help Texas as far as their tax deed sales as well, which could be included in a different video. Okay. So here we have a list. Now, you are able to go ahead and copy this and to paste it into either Microsoft Excel or OpenOffice. Okay, any spreadsheet would work for this, to where you can go ahead and filter it either by opening bid, filter it by the property address, to where you can go ahead and get things taken care of. Okay, so this is one of the ways, and again, it didn't take us very many clicks to get here to be able to say, oh, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you another example here. Okay, so we'll leave Philadelphia County. All right, so now if we're looking along more of the northeastern seaboard, okay, let's look at Connecticut. Now, Connecticut is a redeemable deed state, meaning that when you buy the deed, the homeowner has 6 months to be able to come in and pay off the taxes, otherwise you get the deed. Okay. In some states that are redeemable, there is a penalty that is assessed to the owner, in others there is not. Okay. As always, you always want to check with the county, or in this case in Connecticut, it can even be with the town who is offering the different delinquent sales. Okay. To where we can go ahead and figure out what we want to do, what is the process, so that we know what's going on. Okay. So as you look in here, Fairfield County, there's the town of Bethel tax auction, city of Bridgeport, town of Brookfield, city of Danbury, town of Darien. Okay. Well, let's look at this. Let's look town of Bethel, delinquent taxes and tax sales. So it brings us up to the tax collector's office. Whenever I come up to a county website, I'm going to try and give myself 30 seconds to a minute to look around, to see what I can see that deals with the tax sales, whether it's tax liens, tax deeds, tax auction, county held properties, anything along that nature. So I see over on the right, public tax auction. So here we go, public tax auction, property for sale. Okay, so this is for the town of Bethel. So here are these different ones. It says to view other municipal auctions, click here. I always love to find out what else is going on. So now pending tax sales. Okay. So here's some of the upcoming sales. Now notice it gives you the information on registration, a $5,000 deposit per property. Okay. All right. So you've got to read what you need to do before you can jump in here. Okay. That is a huge, huge thing. Okay. All right. So we look at here in Mansfield. There's some properties. Town of Eastford, South Fire District, Town of Somers, Town of Reading, Town of Bethel, Town of New Milford, quite a bit in New Milford, Town of Berlin. Now, postponed tax sales. Now, here's where I like the investigative trail, because I always like to find out, well, what happens to a property If it doesn't sell, what does the county do with it? What does the town do with it? They've already tried to sell it once to collect the taxes. What are they going to do now? Well, let's read this top paragraph right here, okay? So it says, the auctions of the following properties have been postponed due to lack of bidders on the original sales date. New auction dates have not yet been determined. Click on the address for more information. If you're interested in any of these properties, please research it very thoroughly and then call 203-330-2230 with your proposed bid amount. Your bid amount should be the most you believe the property is worth, not necessarily the amount of taxes due. Of course they want to get more than the taxes are due, but they're not saying that you have to pay that much more. Okay, so to give yourself a good chance, see what the property's worth. Run through a comparative analysis. See what the market could produce for it. All right? So, as you can see, different ones that are on here, okay? So this one, 350 plus or minus acres, brownfield in Ashford and Wilmington, Connecticut. Now not available for purchase without former brownfield areas. Okay, so there's been some changes. Great. So you can see, there's still plenty on here, okay? So notice, these are the recently completed tax sales. So the following notices list the properties sold at recent tax sales subject to the right of their owners and encumbrances to redeem. Click on the notice for more information. The purchasers will not take title if any redemption has already occurred or does occur within 6 months after the auction date. Again, 6-month redemption period. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at some other, and again, typically up in the Northeast, yet in a lot of other parts of the country, it's the county that you're dealing with. In some parts, it's even the state that helps out the counties. Original 13 colonies, it can be any number of taxing body that could be the one officiating the sale. So as you can see here, it goes in per city. Okay. So we're going to click in a different county here in Connecticut just to see. So town of Avon, let's see. Now notice a different look. Okay. So here's the collector of revenue, not necessarily the tax collector. Okay. So again, give yourself a little bit of time to take a look at it. So there's tax information, legal notice to town of Avon taxpayers. Okay. Pay your tax bill. Well, we don't want to pay our tax bill, do we? Okay, we want to find out how we buy the taxes. So let's click on tax information. This may just take us to how they're doing the taxes, as I thought. So the real estate's due in 2 installments. Okay. Online bill pay. Use of a charge card will incur a fee. Okay. All right. Why do I have to pay 3% on August 2nd? Okay. All right. Are there programs for people? Great. So what we're looking for is we're looking for something that would be along the lines of helping us to figure out where's the tax sale list. Okay. So let's see here. Warning commission is administrative. Okay. All right. So what I would do on this one, let me see here. I would look for a way to be able to contact them. That's when their hours are open. There, and that's for the assessment of the bill. We could call that up and they would actually gladly tell you that they don't deal anything with the taxes and refer you to, oh, there we go, right there. I would call them up and say, hey, is there any lists that are coming for sale? If they are, how do I get a hold of them? Next. Okay, that's just what we'll do. Okay. So as you can see, this site brings a lot of information that's very, very useful for what we need to do. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. Enjoy going through your resources. I wish you happy bidding, and we'll talk